3, 2, wait.
4, 3, 2, 1, go.
I forgot how to count. Wait. 3, 2,
1.
Stop. This is staying in.
8, 4,
Shut up.
2,
Stop it,
go.
3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. It's Merlin here. Welcome to another MerlinCast. It's been a while. I'm obviously here, Merlin. I've got some of the traditionals here. I've got Mr. Tiefling over here. He's here. I got Xevrix over there.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And I got Gimli over here.
Hey, what's up?
And I don't know, we kind of said we're not sure what we're going to talk about tonight, but we had kind of one to start off. Tiefling, you kind of proposed a question about like the future of Star Trek, basically.
It seems like as the movies go on, they understand what made Star Trek, if that makes a lot of sense. Like, it was less giant action pieces and more
campy show stuff.
Actual
like
sci-fi stuff?
Sci-fi and like character interaction and...
Yeah, I mean, Star Trek Beyond felt closer to traditional Star Trek. I agree. So,
but what else would they need to really change in order for you to say this is definitely worth coming back to?
You know what? That actually does give me a question for you guys, kind of to add off onto that, because I've thought about this a little bit. I saw the trailer recently for Star Trek Discovery, and I guess I could talk about it here because I didn't officially. I thought it looked really cool. I don't know if you guys saw it, but it actually looks pretty decent.
Yeah,
I know.
show.
Base, you saw the trailer for Star Trek Discovery,
Yeah, I actually
right?
watched it with my dad.
What'd you think?
It's interesting. It's a lot more...
It's still very military based, though.
Yeah. It seems like it's going to be a lot more explorative than the other ones.
I think that's a key thing there, exploration. Because really, in the new movies, they haven't really done much exploring. Like in Star Trek Into Darkness, at the beginning they're at one planet, and they kind of almost messed up the religion. That was funny. That was cool. But Star Trek is mostly about, going to new worlds, especially the original series, and just meeting new races and intermingling with them with some social commentary. And, I don't want to hate on the new Star Trek movies too much, but to be honest, they're not that smart. And
it felt like every other kind of action.
It doesn't feel like I'm watching the intricate relationships in like Deep Space Nine per se.
Yeah, or Next Gen.
Though, in my opinion, the movies, they can get away with that. If you want the exploration and all that, they'd have to make another series, TV series,
which is something they're planning on doing. And I think that's cool. I think that Star Trek's kind of better designed for that because you can tell a lot of different tales, different writers. Typically, and if you guys probably remember this, the Star Trek movies when they came out were designed to generally be big action movies anyway, to hit a broader audience. But here's the question I wanted to ask you guys. Star Trek is arguably more popular than it's ever been in general.
Yeah.
But that's partially because of the Abrams movies and kind of making things more generalized and flashier. Here's the question I want to ask you guys. Do you think it's possible for them to do a more intellectual, cerebral Star Trek and release it to a general audience in movie form, or do you think that's just reserved for TV?
I feel like that's become just reserved for TV.
I think they could get away with it as a movie if, like...
They need to be popular enough for it to draw in a crowd, regardless.
Like,
I don't...
Like, if the next Fast and Furious suddenly tried to be super smart, I don't think it would crash. But something like where you're dealing with sci-fi in general, like, eventually you'll have an audience, depending on, like, your quality. Which the quality was good for these movies.
Yeah.
Even if it's, like, more of a smart movie...
Yeah.
They can still have the dramatic climax. Say it's like, I guess, some weird computer that's like taking over planets and destroying them. I don't know.
Okay.
Would it be Borg Picard from another universe?
I hope say stupid shit.
It could be like
really cool though.
It could be like
the computer
has androids or robots on whatever home planet it is.
So
and they can have the action be how they get around the robots and androids.
You know what?
Then do the smart thing about taking out this computer.
So you think they should do what, like the original series often did, is you have a smart story but wrapped up in a lot of action?
Not even that.
Not even that?
No. as long as you pace the movie right, with action and then like knowledge and plot and stuff, it'll flow. But if they just do straight, just like knowledge stuff, you'll lose the audience and stuff.
I agree.
That's a good point. You got to mix it up.
There needs to be some action, but you need to, for it to really feel like Star Trek to me, at least have some point where knowledge and that kind of thing come into play as more than just understanding an enemy's weakness.
Honestly, I think a good example for that type of filmmaking is probably Star Trek First Contact, because that was a really smart movie about evil computers, the Borg, but a lot of action. I mean, they basically did a zombie movie on the Enterprise. But it was cool, and it was still smart. Actually, it's kind of like the Marvel movies where, you know, if you think about it really, even though you're watching films about superheroes, they've got the human element down so much that you spend a lot of time just watching these guys talk and discuss. And like in Civil War, most of that movie was just like Tony Stark and Captain America just arguing in like office rooms,
philosophy
and laws and morals, and there were only like a couple big action set pieces really in the superhero movie,
and it did amazing.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be all about that, but you have to have enough. So you're right, Gimli, pacing is a big thing. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about the Star Trek stuff. It's a good suggestion, Tiefling. You guys got anything else you want to add, or if not, I've got I could probably come up with some things like some. You got something on your mind, Xevrix?
Okay.
You look like you're
say some stupid shit.
Are you gonna say something silly?
Yes.
Okay, as long as we can all talk about it, I'm fine with it.
All right. So this is a question more for the audience.
Okay.
Okay. So.
In other words, comment on the video about what you're answering.
I'll hyperlink it. This is Base's question. Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so in a fight between Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
Actually, I did want to bring these up.
And we're just going to do all of these.
Apparently, we're just going to do all of these.
And Bobby Hill protecting his purse from Space Ghost Coast to Coast because he doesn't know him.
And I still say Bobby wins because he's a psycho and he'll take him down.
I want to know
Space Ghost.
Who is your pick?
No, I think more appropriate to the Star Trek one was, what was it again? It was
Captain Kirk. 3 beers in, a little tipsy, dancing, like a little
old Kirk,
but like old, like
Star Trek 5,
Star Trek 5 Kirk, like drunk, a little stumbly, but like really determined in order to get this done, versus Emperor Palpatine with no connection to the Force.
So he still got his lightsaber.
He still got his lightsaber,
but he's an old man.
But he's just a really angry old man.
And I think that fight would be hilarious. Someone animate that or something.
Please.
That would be so...
This needs to get in the hands of somebody that can do something.
Like honest trailers or how it should have been. Just make it happen, please. Oh, were there any more? I think there were more.
Okay, so Mace Windu with no arms versus Palpatine
versus Spock.
But he can't use his nose.
Why is his nose important?
You'll find out later.
Okay, well, guys,
can't smell his
I'll go back and I will.
Hold on. About Enterprise versus.
Oh yes. Tying in more with Star Trek, along with these other stupid, ridiculous things that we were talking about when we were out drinking. The remake era Federation versus the First Order.
Okay. Yeah, I personally said I thought the First Order creamed the early Federation.
Then you have to add in Stargate
plus Stargate
before the Asgard computer.
Yeah. But that's just guys with guns, machine guns.
Better
trained. It's like a 35% chance.
Trained soldiers.
Okay, they would kill stormtroopers. The only advantage they have technologically is with the Stargate. They can just jump from planet to planet.
Okay, but what if they have a plucky anime teenager who's bad in all of his classes and hates school?
I think you're giving a lot to Star Trek.
No, because we figured everybody would die except for him.
Plucky anime sidekick.
Well, yeah, after his love interest dies in an explosion.
To save him.
What?
And then his robot head becomes a giant fucking ship.
No.
What?
And then his mech transforms and he blows up Starkiller Base.
I just think there's so much stacked against the First Order at this point.
Well, because you see, the First Order started out with Starkiller Base.
Okay.
And that's a planet that shoots lasers that say, fuck you.
Alright, that's pretty overpowered. That's true.
Yeah.
You can destroy solar systems.
Got fucking Egon, the living planet over here.
Hey, I like... Good movie.
Egon versus Mogo, who wins?
Egon versus Mogo? Mogo's a Green Lantern.
He is.
Mogo is a Green Lantern.
He's got a giant Green Lantern ring around his body, his planet, man.
He can create constructs.
It's
the
basically
size of planets.
Yeah, but Mogo can change reality.
His own. Basically what you're saying, Mr. Base Xevrix, okay, is that think of like instead of planets, they're just dudes. You've got a Green Lantern versus a normal guy.
He's not that normal.
Yeah, he is.
What about the Destroyer?
Oh yes, Destroyer versus
Mogo?
Deadpool.
No,
Deadpool. Versus Destroyer versus Deadpool.
It's an independent comic. Give me, let me. It's the psychotic guy that goes after all his supervillains.
He's a Marvel character.
He is technically Marvel, but
he'll never be in any mainstream story.
No,
which is a shame.
Yeah,
he's probably a lot more violent than both Deadpool and Logan combined.
Honestly, give it enough time, he could show up. If these Marvel movies keep going, they reach out for obscure people. It could be possible.
Probably even throw in Squirrel Girl.
Infinity War, who knows?
The MCU, yeah.
Alright.
But anyways, it's Destroyer versus Deadpool, and Deadpool doesn't know that the Destroyer is from a different comic book.
Because that's the only way.
Alright. Well, I'm going to make... That'd be fun reading the descriptions for these verses and the description.
There's one more I have.
There's one more.
What would that rating even be?
That'd be a TVMA.
At least.
Okay.
It's up higher somehow.
Yeah. Harvey Birdman with Ace Attorney Phoenix Wright as his wingman defending... Who was it again?
Ultron.
Unicron.
Okay.
From Godot from Ace Attorney. The dude with the visor.
What anime?
From Unicron being placed at the scene of two separate murders.
How do they take Unicron into the courtroom?
Unicron is the courtroom.
That seems a little biased if he's the court.
He's the courtroom.
He's the court. All right, I'm cutting this off at the versus section because that was pretty great. Gimli, please bring us back to some sanity.
I'd say that Unicorn could get off scot-free because I think for this trial, Phoenix wouldn't be taking it seriously. He wouldn't wear his lucky blue suit. Everything would be end up against him.
Unicron was framed.
Framed for 2 murders at 2 separate places at the same time.
Gimli.
Okay.
Please bring us back to sanity with a semi-serious discussion.
He's a planet. He can be in a lot of places at once.
I don't know about you guys, but did you guys like SimCity?
SimCity originally was fun, and then the new one that came out was...
We don't talk about that new one.
What happened?
Yeah.
Okay. The new
that's
one
a different...
Have you guys played City Skylines at all?
No.
Which one was that?
It's kind of recent.
It's an indie game.
It's a city builder. But
I think I played up to Sims 2, and then the one...
City Skylines is a different company.
Isn't a Sims thing. It's its own independent thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, City Skylines just came out with a new DLC called Mass Transit.
Okay.
And you can build monorails, cable cars, blimps, and ferries, and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel? Well, first off, how do you guys feel about the city builder games?
I played some back in the day, but it's been a while.
I miss Roller Coaster Tycoon.
I usually stuck to more of the Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh, the Roller Coaster Tycoon. I remember that one.
Yeah. I was more either that or actually just The Sims.
Yeah.
But
maybe
more Civilization than the city builders. Yeah. But they're fun.
Yeah.
They're a good way to just spend your time doing something.
I like all the Easter eggs in them.
They're pretty chill. But what's the issue with it?
You can do some really stupid stuff in it where it wouldn't make sense at all in real life.
Like what?
I'd just build a city where literally cable cars go over the blimp stop.
What?
Like, yeah, exactly. Boom. There's some things in it where it's just like, wait a moment. This shouldn't work.
With hydrogen anymore, I think is what it is.
Yeah, I think they are technically
But
safe.
still, it's like...
They use helium now.
Like, would you put cable cars on the station?
I don't know. How sued are you trying to be? Like, Challenger?
14% sued.
Challengers.
So...
Yo, Grandmasters 3. I'm trying to get Grandmasters 3 sued.
Oh, God.
Like, maybe Harrison Ford flying
his plane.
Harrison Ford flying
all those people would have survived then, along with some hidden treasure.
It belonged in the museum.
Sorry, Harrison Ford, but, yeah.
He's not very good at flying planes.
In a museum.
You guys think Harrison Ford belongs to him?
No. I think he made a terrible decision with asking to be written out of Star Wars.
He doesn't like Star Wars. Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's going back to Blade Runner, though, and probably Indy Jones. Yeah. So he's still active.
It's really sad that he doesn't like Star Wars.
There's a couple reasons why.
I don't know those reasons. What are they?
Mostly just typecasting fear and stuff like that. Oh, I do have a topic if you guys are interested.
Okay.
There was also one other one. I know Tiefling knows about this, but I think it's the Montreal studios with BioWare with Mass Effect split into 3 different sort of like departments and studios now. One's working on Mass Effect and the other on a current game in development or working on, and then a game yet to be announced.
Basically, BioWare Montreal fucked up.
Why? Well, so they're not...
they are the ones behind the Andromeda. They're the ones getting...
Yeah, pretty sure, right? You guys said you didn't really like Andromeda a whole lot?
By the end of it, I liked the experience overall more than I liked the story aspect of 3.
I know earlier we were talking about how... Well, I mentioned how the new ones, the Angari, are kind of just a remake of Quarian Bodies.
Different heads.
Yeah. Like
honestly,
textures,
they might even have just been...
It's kind of lazy.
Quarians with different textures. It didn't seem like that innovative.
Like
I know that they need to keep it bipedal, but because it's Mass Effect, someone's going to try to fuck it.
Hanar. There's Hanar and stuff. And
the Elcor.
Even still, if some of the dialogue with Joker in Mass Effect 2, he said some stuff about Hanar and stuff, and
like
it was weird.
Yeah,
it was really weird.
Joker was arguably one of the better characters in the series.
Great pilot.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean,
Seth Green.
Seth Green's a little bit more interesting to listen to than the 2 that you got in Andromeda.
Yeah.
They were kind of one-dimensional, and then they kept on talking about the Irish chick's religion, even though I don't seem to remember talking to her about religion ever, or knowing a reason why. Just kind of happens. I might have broken the sequence, knowing the glitches in Andromeda, but like... I don't know. I feel like they're stopping. They're pumping the brakes on Mass Effect.
Really?
Because people fucking hated this game.
I didn't
because if you look at like achievements made, like even within like the first 2 weeks, like I think the percentage for actually completing the game was like only like 23%.
Oh, well, wow.
Honestly, like the thing was, I didn't hear particularly negative reviews of it, but the thing about it was interesting is I remember when it came out, you'd think Mass Effect would be hyped. Literally no one I knew associated with online was talking about it. Other than you guys, and even when I was around, you didn't talk about it that much. Like, it just, the hype for that wasn't that aired. They didn't have the interest, I guess.
I think it was hyped enough, and, like, people were talking about it. But
it quickly died.
Yeah, I remember a lot of people talking about it. It just kind of died.
And the reason I think it died so early was because of mostly like characters and just
the glitches.
Story.
The glitches.
And the story overall was good.
Huh.
And the plot overall was good.
Okay.
But just, I guess, the way they implemented it.
Just didn't seem that innovative.
Right. And I think that's why they split Montreal with 3 different sections and probably kept everybody who, in reviews with the game, said they liked and stuff, or just like they put in fresh people with other stuff.
So you think the studio's kind of dividing its focus maybe to keep it more concentrated, say, okay, this is going to be more about Mass Effect and you guys can handle other projects.
Yeah.
That could potentially
fuck
be good.
with Mass Effect, get the fuck away from Mass Effect.
Right. Yeah. And if they're doing well on the other ones, good. But focus on what you have a passion for.
And focus on your biggest title, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
What's the battery life at?
Battery's still like a 3 man. But I did have a question for all you guys, actually.
Okay.
Well, shifting gears a little bit. As you guys know, I'm a pretty big fan of DC Comics and of the...
Oh, yeah.
Not so much of the DC movies, though. But I'm probably going to drag all you guys with me, I hope. Well, I do want you to play that. You get me to play it at some point, but it's related. Hold on. Not... Similar. Wonder Woman will be coming out very soon.
I have bad feelings about this movie.
And that's basically what I wanted to ask is, based upon the track record with, Man of Steel and Suicide Squad and Batman vs. Superman, and most people saying the DC movies...
Who's it directed by?
James Gunn?
Yes, it is James Gunn.
Did they do anything with Harry Potter?
No.
Okay.
Well, but my question for what you guys basically is, like, what are you hoping for from Wonder Woman for it to be good? And, like, for me personally, if Wonder Woman does not do well, I don't have any more faith in Warner Brothers Studios. Like, I have not liked the last couple movies, but I'm really hoping for a good one. I just want Wonder Woman, since this is her first big time on screen other than that other movie, for her own movie, for it to be good, because she's like the most important female superhero ever.
Yeah.
I need this movie not to suck for DC. Like, what will it mean for you guys? What are you looking for? What are your expectations?
I'll go first.
Okay.
So I have a few things to say about this.
Okay.
There was the long, 2-3 month stint where they didn't say anything. I saw, no promotion about the movie.
I heard about that.
And that could be either a really bad thing because they started to ignore the movie, or a really good thing because that could mean they actually took more time instead of their marketing ploys like they did with Suicide Squad to...
I didn't hear about major rewrites happening with the script of this, and everything that they've written have came out with so far has been undergoing
changes,
and I didn't hear anything about this one undergoing massive changes.
Okay.
That's because Suicide Squad fucked everything.
The thing I noticed was
we got a different plot.
Actually see stuff.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because DC, much like Marvel, should be pretty colorful. It's a superhero movie, and all the other ones are just gray and ugly and dark.
Even from the trailers that I saw of them being in London, it's gray and overcast.
It's London,
but it's London. It's England.
And when they're in Greece, it's pretty.
It's bright. It's beautiful.
It's sunny. I can see stuff.
The entirety of Justice League should not take place in Gotham, basically.
Please.
And even in England, I could still see stuff in the trailer. I could make out bricks and
It was
stuff.
more brown than gray, really.
Gimli, I also wanted to point out one thing I actually think is kind of cool as a side thing for Wonder Woman. Gimli and I are pretty big fans of history and war movies, and Wonder Woman's going to be a World War I movie.
Yeah.
Which there are so few of those.
Yeah.
Well, there's a very obvious reason why it's World War I, because Captain America
was World War II,
right.
So they want to try and make it similar. But just the fact that it's World War I, because it's just a war that We don't see many movies about it, even if it's DC. It's kind of cool.
To answer your question, actually, I need Faith to be a decent character.
For me to make it a decent movie, I think they need to focus less on Wonder Woman's original story of a woman coming into weird man's world and focus more on an actual plot where she's made to look stronger. Like, I know that she's not made weak by her in any means in her original story, but like they need to really get across like Wonder Woman herself as a decent character.
Well, you know what? I think what you're saying is a lot of times when Wonder Woman has an origin, she's kind of the fish out of water. She doesn't really understand modern stuff, men exactly. We just kind of want her to just kind of be competent from the get-go.
Yeah. Competent and then have an actual plot.
All right.
But yet still not understand what the modern
I get,
is.
but like...
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm worried that they're gonna treat her weird because it is important for women that the first major female superhero movie is good.
Yeah, I agree totally.
What's up, bud?
We've got a guest on the edge of the podcast. Her name is Lemon Woman.
Lemon Woman?
Honey Lemon.
I thought it was Cactus Jar Lady.
Cactus Jar Lady.
Cactus Juice.
I apologize for every single one of them to everybody that had to hear that.
But
what the fuck are you?
Anyway. Basically, that was all I really had for like general topics, guys. Anything else you guys wanted to add? Like, we could just open up for general talking for a little bit if you want. About whatever you guys want to talk about.
Samurai Jack.
Yes.
Samurai Jack is ending.
How? It's
not
like
tomorrow. Saturday.
It's Friday.
It is
so
Friday.
Tomorrow.
Nobody. Fuck.
This will be uploaded at like 4 a.m. if he remembers.
It'll be uploaded.
Just because we're allowed to talk about it like it's the day that it is.
I mean, even if it comes out like...
This might not come out till next week.
Monday or something.
You don't know.
I might forget about it.
Really
might.
No, I won't forget about it, but the point, yes, it's only like one day.
Exactly.
There's no computer here,
Nerd.
unfortunately.
But
yeah, only one more episode, really.
It's gotten... They're still holding on to the Scotsman.
Mm-hmm.
And he's Ghost Man. He's Danny
Have
Phantom.
you watched any of...
No. I've been waiting on Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty.
Yes.
Actually, my lady has been watching some Rick and Morty, and honey, what have your impressions been on the second season from what you've seen thus far? Just
Szechuan sauce.
she hasn't gotten to Szechuan sauce yet.
I mean, I saw the scene.
I showed her Get Swifty. She loved it, right?
Oh, yes.
But what are your
thoughts?
What are your thoughts between going from seasons 1 to season 2 overall?
Get closer, please. Get closer to the microphone.
No.
Please.
They can't hear you.
I'll take
I just
Persona
think it's a
5
lot.
with me.
You think it's a lot?
She thinks...
Actually, you know what she thinks is a lot?
What?
Are the endings to every episode of Metalocalypse.
They really are. Everyone dies. There's no reason for
But
that.
it's not just that, it's in the most gruesome and disgusting way possible, like nightmare fuel stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
metal.
Yeah, really.
It's definitely-
Yo, it's all about pickle. What the fuck was that shit?
Toki.
Mr.
Dog?
Pickles?
No, Pickle
Fuck
Dog.
that.
Yeah.
Mr. Pickles was terrible.
Do you like Mr. Pickles?
No.
Is that the clown guy?
No, it's the dog and like the weird sort of like hillbilly-ish country.
Country guy?
Basically, it's about a demon dog in the middle of Deliverance.
Oh, I heard
Yeah.
about that. I didn't actually watch any of it.
I personally, if you give me like 1 or 2 drinks and then watch it, it's pretty good. Otherwise, you're just like,
I'm
what
fucking
the
terrified
fuck?
of whoever
What?
made that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to switch gears, but this actually reminds me of something. Twin Peaks is coming out soon.
It
already did, actually, didn't it?
Did it?
Like today,
Today? Came out?
I think.
And I have no way to watch it. But
It's unfortunate.
that's pretty cool.
On another note, with Rick and Morty,
Back.
Anyway, back to Rick and Morty, guys.
Yes.
God.
Yeah.
No, please. Rick and Morty's fine. We can talk about it.
We haven't seen the episode. We can't talk about it.
so person at work, my coworker Casey and I were saying, we both kind of think at this point that for Szechuan sauce, it was the
Mulan sauce.
It was an April Fool's.
It was an April Fool's episode.
So it's going to be another year waiting for...
No.
And that doesn't even matter.
It's just going to be another season premiere.
Oh yeah, it's an episode that isn't going to matter, yeah.
Or it's going to be, they're going to split every other episode, and each episode is a different
April Fool's thing
dimension.
Every episode every episode of season 3 is an alternate way that Rick got out.
Well, they've already suggested that might have happened a couple times already. That we might just be watching completely independent stories.
You didn't see the end of season 2?
Yeah, the ending of season 2 is like really great, and she hasn't watched it yet. But we're almost there, honey.
We'll get there.
I didn't have a way to watch it until very recently.
True.
She's getting caught up there.
TV's kind of overrated.
Not Rick and Morty though. That's like one of the best shows on TV. Or
oh my god, all the cartoons on Cartoon Network.
So, did you guys know that Ben 10 is technically a DC property?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because Cartoon Network is owned by Warner Brothers, and they had staff from DC write the stories for the original Ben 10 up through like Ultimate Alien, I think.
Oh yeah, Ultimate Alien. He needed to turn into Ultimate Humongosaur.
I could never really get into that, to be honest.
Ben 10. If you didn't start with it like near our age when it came out. Oh,
I've had the knife out the entire time.
All the powers he saw in the case, fighting the evils from Earth or space.
I was always more of a Danny Phantom guy.
Oh, Danny Phantom is the shit.
Danny Phantom didn't end until like 2013, didn't it?
Danny Phantom didn't end.
It didn't?
No, I think it had a hiatus.
No, because they had a movie.
No, they didn't. That wasn't a movie. There was a 2-episode special because there were credits in the middle of it.
Technically, it hasn't ended.
Technically, the story has just... He saved the day again, not permanently. Because we didn't even see...
He saved 2 worlds from being destroyed by a ghost meteor.
Yeah, but
that's a pretty good ending.
You know who they had an entire season planned around?
Who?
His clone from like the Weird Future thing?
Oh, shit.
The one that possessed Vlad Plasmy as his ghost?
What? You can do that?
Yeah.
Danny Phantom, boy. Well, I forget what he called himself. Probably something stupid like Daniel Phantom.
No, it was actually really cool. Daniel. You know, that's what I was thinking about calling him, and I couldn't remember.
Like, okay.
I also want to see more. I also would like to see more of Danny Phantom with an I.
Danny Phantom's clone from the future. You think I wouldn't Google this shit?
No, it's just him from the future.
Dark Danny.
Dark Danny.
I told you it was something fucking dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Dark Danny, also known as Dan Phantom, was the evil older brother of Danny Phantom and the main antagonist of Danny Phantom, the ultimate enemy. He was created as a result of ghost forms of Danny Phantom and Vlad Plasmius fusing together. He is the most evil and one of the most powerful Danny Phantoms.
Well,
I still want to see more Electric Shock.
Electric Shock?
I just want you guys to know
Superhero
Static Shock.
Superhero Electric Shock.
That was the last thing connected to like the Justice League, wasn't it?
Yeah, Static Shock is
Static Shock had an episode that was just called Epilogue.
Furthest to the future of the DC Anime Universe is Static Shock, actually.
Yeah, because I remember they had that thing where he went to the...
No, it's not, because he went to the future.
He went to Batman Beyond's future.
Beyond the furthest, because he was an old man in Batman. That's right.
That was my favorite episode.
Because he was old.
Dan Phantom. Yeah, I really remember it being something so much cooler, but it's just Dan fucking Phantom.
Look, my new moniker is Dan Phantom. I got a mortgage and 4 kids. My name is Dan Phantom.
He's just there to pipe your mom and take her away.
Well,
we should end it.
All right.
We should end it.
Any final thoughts before we wrap it
Dan Phantom. That's my final thought.
Dan Phantom signing off. I'm being serious. I am now Dan Phantom.
Electric shock.
Electric shock.
Static shock.
Static
close
shock.
enough.
It's
the Marvels.
I'm gonna make that a character in my game now.
Electric shock.
No, Dan Phantom.
All right.
No, sorry. Taserface signing off.
Oh, Taserface. All right, everybody, stay magical.